Thank you. Hey, everybody. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Uh, Welcome to another edition of Aquaponics on a Budget. I'm going to let everybody get in here real quick. Last night I did, me and Krista and Nana, we did a live stream with Full Spectrum Survival. I don't know if anybody saw it, but we did a show on that. And he was really interested in the duckweed. So I'm going to do this morning's episode on duckweed. Sorry, removing a leaf. That's goat food, so I'll be saving that. They love yellow leaves and stuff. Anyway, today we're going to do a special on all this duckweed and the things that it's good for and things that it's good for the animals it's good for. You know, and even in some cases it can be good for you. Now it is the smallest wonder plant there is. It has the smallest flower in the world. Duckweed actually flowers, and it is the smallest flower in the world. And truthfully, I have never seen it flower. I mean, I know it does because it produces so much, but I have never seen it flower. And it's so tiny that, you know, you can hardly see anything. Let me try to just get a few on my finger. A little chilly out here. Let me try to hold it right there for a second and let you see. It's just tiny, little bitty plants. Little bitty plants, little bitty flowers. Should I eat it? Tastes like lettuce. But it actually doesn't have a bad flavor. So if it came necessity, you know, we would try to make, got some on my lip. We try to make something out of flour, or like we do our lamb quarter. Something, you know, I heard boiling it takes out the calcium oxalate out of it. So, you know, we're trying to do something. But it reproduces itself every 3 days, every 2 to 3 days, depending on your water nutrients. This is hooked to my aquaponics system, which I don't have running at the moment. It's a little chilly out here, so I don't have it running right at the moment. So, but anyway, as you can see, the sun's coming up, and I hope it ain't blocking the camera any or shining on the camera, and I hope y'all can see me and the duckweed good. But because it reproduces itself, you know, every 3 days, that's something that, you know, really needs to be studied and looked into. I was just reading online, somebody talking about how it needs to be a biofuel. It has the same amount of starch as corn. It has more protein than soybeans. So, you know, it's got vitamin A and vitamin C. It's really good for you. I feed to the older fish now. My glasses are fogging up a little bit. Sorry, it's temperature's raising in here. But I feed it to the older fish. The younger fish, I've noticed since I've been growing them, they like insects and, you know, the higher protein content. Even though this has got high protein, I think it's got like 45% protein in it, 5% fat. So really good for fish. Water turtles, ducks, chickens, cattle, all that. It's good for all those. But I feed this to the big fish. They like to graze on it like cattle. They'll just come along and just top the water and just sit there and eat it like grass. So for our fish, because we eat our big fish, and so we know we're just getting a plant-based diet to our fish, and we grow tilapia if everybody doesn't know that. But anyway, so but the smaller fish, they like a higher protein content, so I supplement their feed with pellets, protein pellets, and usually about 45% to 32%, depending on what I can get. I have the reason system isn't on. I'm waiting for the sun to come in and start warming up these plants a little bit, and then I'll turn the system on, and it'll heat my greenhouse, heat the aquaponics because of the rocks heating up and you know, the duckweed heating up. Now, there are a few more wonderful things that duckweed does. One thing, it covers such a blanket across still water that mosquitoes can't lay their eggs in it. So you just got rid of your mosquito problem by growing duckweed. You know, and everybody knows I'm working on supplemental feed, because I think that's really, really important if you want to have animals, is, you know, and you don't want to run to the feed store, you know, every, you know, week or two to go buy 50 pounds of GMO corn or something like that. You might have a non-GMO feed store around you, but we don't. We live in the country, and you know, they grow the Roundup Ready corn, so you just feed them pure Roundup, you know, to your animals, and then you're intaking it by eating your animals. So that's a catch-22. But I dry this out and add it to the chicken feed, and the ducks will just eat it. I mean, the ducks will eat it anytime, anywhere. So I'll put this in their water, and they'll just go up there, you know, and just gobble it up, sit there and play in the water, and until every last piece is gone and their water's clean. So ducks do eat this, especially our ducks. They love it. Now, but that's ducks. The turkey will eat it if it's dried and I mix it in her food, and maybe she'll mistakenly eat it, you know, kind of thing. But I think if I was able to make pellets or crumble with the dried and add in some other supplemental things, I've discovered that every one of the animals love Chinese privet, and Chinese privet here is an invasive weed, and the Chinese privet also is a natural wormer. It's a natural insecticide too, but it's a natural wormer. So I'm thinking adding the privet leaves, drying out the duckweed, and during the wintertime, chickweed grows everywhere. It likes the cold weather. It grows well in cold weather, and it grows everywhere. So I feed big, huge groups of chickweed, which is good for us too. You know, it's high in calcium, low in phosphorus, so it's good for us too. But I feed it to the chickens, and that is their feed for the year, for the wintertime, and they don't need anything else, and they'll lay just fine all winter long with that chickweed. But I'm still working on those feeds. But anyway, back to duckweed. Everybody saw in my other video where we see how fast duckweed grows. Somebody up the mailboxes. And it filled up one of these containers from a tablespoon of duckweed. It filled up one of these containers in less than a month. I know I took the video at the end of the month, but we were out of town. I couldn't come back in time, but it was less than a month that it filled this up completely. See, it fills up here so much that it starts growing up on the side walls. I mean, it just layer after layer after layer, it grows up on there and up on the side walls. So it really wants to grow, and it purifies my water. If my water gets too much ammonia, more than the bacteria can eat, or if I'm harvesting fish and they get all excited and they start swimming around and flopping around, I'll get an ammonia spike. So this duckweed cleanses that water so that my fish never know that they got really stressed out and I don't have massive fish die-offs, and the plants never go through a spike, so they don't know that the fish got messed up. And if the solid foods, if the solid, I mean not solid food, the solid waste from the fish, if it made it through the aquaponics and got into here, the duckweed actually feeds on that. So the water that comes out of here is clean, drinkable water because of the duckweed. It doesn't let algae grow beneath of it. So these white tanks, everybody said don't have white tanks because they'll grow algae. All you gotta do is grow duckweed, and duckweed doesn't let the light in, and underneath it's actually just clean, sparkly, clean water. Let me see if I can move some of it around. You ain't gonna be able to tell because of the lighting, but that's just clean water under there. Get it off my hand. You can see right down there, it's just clean, beautiful water underneath there. And the fish, it's just like a water filter that's a natural plant, which is awesome. So that's what, like 10, 15 awesome things about duckweed. I mean, we can go on and on. I mean, I'm thinking about, well, right here to this side, you can't see, is another system that I'm building. So this aquaponic system will be double this size. All I need is the rocks for this system, and that's I got my drink so that I don't get dry throat while I'm talking. But actually, I'm getting so clean of water that out of here I can double the size of my system and still use these as my filters or water purifiers. I'm just looking. I have tomatoes on these tomato plants hanging out of the aquaponics, and thinking, got tomatoes. Of course, we got a lot of tomatoes. In a couple of days, we're going to have 20 degrees, and I can heat in here. I can turn on both the. I mean, this is an immense greenhouse. It's 30 feet by 100 feet. I can turn on the rocket mass and the double barrel heater, which is right back there. I don't know if y'all ever seen that, but I'll make another video. But I can have both of those going, and it still will get 32 degrees in here. It won't get any colder in here, but it'll get 32 degrees in here. And so that's all the tomatoes with, they'll hit, the frost will hit them and they'll die back. So we're going to be harvesting all our tomatoes, and I need to remake some salsa. So I've eaten on my salsa allotment for the year. I made a lot, and I've eaten it all. I made like 24 quarts, and it's good stuff. So I need to make some salsa. I know Anna will like some fresh tomatoes. She just likes to come and get them off the vine and eat them. But we'll be harvesting all those tomatoes and pulling up those tomato plants. I'll take my cuttings off the good ones, and they'll actually go into an area that won't freeze. Like under the aquaponics, it won't freeze under there. We put all of Krista's aloes underneath the aquaponics, and they don't freeze there. It's something about the water, the mass of water won't let it freeze. But anyway, 20 degrees, things will look a little bit different in here after this freeze. I mean, it won't affect the mint. It won't affect most things. This bean will probably affect this bean. That's a shame. I've been harvesting off this bean for all season long. Of course, the other day, remember I told y'all I was going to plant peas in aquaponics? I planted the peas. They are popping up. All the seeds that we planted, they are popping up. So we're about to fill these up. And this one right here, I don't know if y'all can see it, but remember we just broadcast a bunch of different seeds in here. It is full of little tiny plants. They're about 2 inches tall. They won't be affected by the freeze because they're all in the cold weather rock. And the rocks will actually maintain uh, heat during the night. This duckweed, normally if it was outside and it would get that cold, it would freeze, you know, a layer across it. The duckweed wouldn't survive. Duckweed wouldn't survive in our area. Uh, other water plants, they don't survive here. The only thing that does survive is parrot feather, and that's really not good for anything, just for looks. It's kind of like a vine that grows underwater. Helps purify the water, but I don't have any in my aquaponics system because it's not edible. So, you know, it's something that wow, I have a mint in there. It's just amazing. Look at it. It's stretched over all these different tanks. It's stretched over into this one right here, and is rooting. I don't think y'all can see that, but it's rooting right there. It's like, I'm going to grow. And it's one of Krista's mints. But we're actually going to, I'm going to build a distiller and separate the essential oils with the distiller. It's a little valve at the end of the, where you got your tank, and then it goes to the cooling coil, condensing coil. And then when it gets down to the end, it actually separates the oil from the moisture. So I'm going to build one of those, and we're going to distill a lot of mint, which we got a lot of, and we're going to distill lemongrass and different kinds of mint. We have different kinds of mint for different remedies. We have mountain mint, that's really good for headaches, migraines. Spearmint's good for headaches and migraines. Krista could tell you more about the herbs that are good, but the mint is come from behind too, so we are going to get a lot of mint from that, and make some mint essential oil, and y'all get to be part of that. Anyway, back to the duckweed. I'm getting distracted. The duckweed, I'm going to build a special drying rack for it, where I'm just going to take these screens, I'm going to go in, I'm going to scoop it up, and I'm going to just take them and hang them up and dry them, and then I'll pulverize them, make it into a powder, and then add in my other plants and stuff, and then try to make crumble or feed out of it, you know, to kind of bind it together, because it has more starch than corn, so it'll bind together and create my crumble or pellets. You know, I don't have a pellet maker, but that would be awesome. But I'm not thinking about that, or even want to do that. But making the crumble for the feed, and if we can work together and we can find a supplemental feed, something like duckweed that grows so fast, and chickweed and you know, other plants that are really good for chickens. I know I was on Full Spectrum Survival yesterday, and he was telling me about mealworms and how we can grow mealworms for the chickens and stuff. And that's something that me and Krista are definitely going to look into, because I've seen American Homestead do it too. They're growing a bunch of mealworms, supplementing their feed with their chicken feed with mealworms. Now, I used to do that when I raised reptiles. I'd grow my mealworms and superworms, and they are easy to grow, and they do multiply. I mean, I don't remember the exact figures, but it's crazy. But you know, imagine mealworms ground up in their in their feed. I mean, probably wouldn't stay good, but adding more protein. Well, this is like 45% protein, so I don't know how much more you would need. Tilapia thrive on you know, from 45 to 32% protein, and this is perfect for it. That whole will fill back in on its own. As tiny plants. I got to get me a magnifying glass, and I got to really watch for the tiny flowers, because I'd like to see the world's smallest flower. I know y'all probably would too, but I was looking to see if there was a snack on here. I got this one bean on here. I'm gonna go ahead and let it go to seed. We could eat that one right now, but we'll let it go to seed because, like I said, asparagus beans are my favorite green beans. They get really long, and I could just eat them green. Just snap one off and just have a snack in here with a tomato, maybe a cucumber. I got tomatoes everywhere, but I'm getting distracted again. Sorry, guys. I got to keep on the subject of duckweed. Anyway, drying it out. Once I dry it out, I'm really going to research and try to figure out how to make a biofuel out of it. I mean, even if it's made into cubes, compressed cubes, and then burned, that's still something that would replace wood, if that would work. But I already use it in compost. We grow so much of it that the fish can't possibly eat all of it. So every so often I'll go through and I'll take some and I'll put them into the composter and just let it compost down. And well, not more than often that I do that, because we need a renewable source of dirt, continuously here, because we're always needing, to plant stuff, always grow stuff. But it works wonderful as a composter, and them other water plants that I have, they work wonderful as compost. It becomes like a peat moss in there, and you add in other dirt and let your worms have it for just a little bit, and you have fertilizer. So of course I have worms in here in vermiculture, and it all mixes in and makes the duckweed grow really well. So anyway, so I'm trying to use it as feed for all my animals. I'm trying to invent a feed where the chickens will eat it without even thinking about it. I mean, right now the chickens, when I throw out their corn and whatever, they're like running around frantic for it, and I want them to be frantic for this. So I really got to experiment and try a few different things, because it is really good for them. It's high in protein and it's got fat in it. So any of y'all have ever seen or heard of any of that, let me know, and we will I will actually give it a try, or how to make the crumble itself or the pellets. I can imagine somehow making a press or something to press it all together, or using the starch in this, kind of wet, kind of powdery, make it flour and making like a crumble like you would put on top of a squash or sweet potato, like you use a brown sugar and stuff. So I can imagine doing something like that. Of course, it needs, I need to do more research. I need to do some experimenting, but I'm on the way, and I'm doing it for all of us. And, and this is for all of us. It's all about learning. It's all about sharing. It's all about community. And we are here. Me and Krista are here by ourselves. We don't have anybody we can say, hey, can you help me lift this board? Normally it's like, Krista, it might be heavy, but if you could possibly pick up on the end of that board, just try and get a screw in, or you screw it and I'll hold up on the end of the board. That's usually the way it works. That works better. But so we are looking for community, people to be around us for those emergencies. And plus, we grow enough food for like 25 people anyway, so that ain't a problem. I don't know if y'all can see this, but this is Kristen's medicinal aloe. She has I don't know if she knows this or not, but it's propagated itself. It has like 10 babies at the bottom. She's gonna be really excited when she sees that. Of course, I got all my different kinds of sweet potatoes in here. You can see all the different varieties that I have in here. There's like 7 or 8, 9 different varieties in here. I had my male kiwis. This one didn't look like it made it, but I have two right there that did make it. So I need to get, and he's going to give me two cuttings off. Well, he's going to give me cuttings off the females. All I got to do is get over there. Ooh, I got some red kale popping up in there. Get me hungry for breakfast, y'all. That's why I was wishing there was a green bean on here. I normally can depend on my green bean plant. I got some. I see where it's about to bloom here and here and here. In there, a few dead leaves in there. But yeah, no treats for me this morning. I done ate them all. They're working. Because I got a big old pineapple in there where I took the top off the pineapple and put it in aquaponics. I just set it right in there. I was like, I wonder if this will grow. And I've taken sweet potatoes and set them right on top of the rocks, and they've gone crazy. You can grow anything in aquaponics. Me and Chris are proving that. So y'all need to get a system going too. So anyway, but the duckweed, y'all help us out. Y'all help us figure out this, and we'll be able to, not have to go to the feed store and buy Roundup Ready corn and stuff like that, because I have a buddy, actually, and this is the reason I'm pushing for it so much, that I have a buddy that he grows Roundup Ready corn. He doesn't see anything wrong with it, and I don't blame him, because he makes, that's how he makes his living. He grows 700 acres of Roundup Ready corn, for Monsanto, and then he takes it all to the feed store. I mean, the feed store comes and harvests it and does all that. So all he has to do is just plant it and spray Roundup on it like 4 or 5 times a year. But he was telling me last year, I'm getting a tickle. Sorry, guys. He was telling me last year, he said, the Roundup's not working anymore. The weeds are resistant to the Roundup now. The weeds that are around the corn are resistant. So they're going to a stronger poison. They're going to a stronger than Roundup. So we're going to be feeding stronger poison to our chickens, which will in turn come to us. Plus, with the if it's happening here, it's happening all over the world. All over, not the world, because most of Monsanto's plants aren't allowed all over the world, just in America. But in other areas where they're growing Monsanto crops, the Roundup's not working anymore. They had to go to a stronger poison. So we're intaking more poison. This is why it's necessary for us to figure out feed alternatives. I mean, you could say, well, I can just grow corn for my chickens. I mean, that's true. But like this year, Krista and I had a complete failure of corn crops. And we normally grow 3 different patches of corn. And it's normally enough for us and for our animals. But the weather at the beginning of spring, first it rotted our corn, and then it got hot and dry and didn't rain a bit, and then they wouldn't sprout. So, they just shriveled up in the soil, and I don't know what happened to them. They just disappeared. And then the third time I planted them, I tried watering them, and then once I got them to sprout, then it didn't rain for the entire summer. And there's no way I could water that much with no rain. So with that being said, you have to have alternatives. You have to think outside the box. You have to think, well, if something was to happen, I couldn't go to the feed store, what am I going to feed my animals? And that's something we're doing it here at Go for Green Living. We're trying to figure out these problems. And I invite y'all to help us. We're trying to get people close to us to come here, and we can work. I mean, everybody has ideas. And, and I like to say that I don't have good ideas, because I do. I have awesome ideas. But somebody could add to one of my ideas, and it just become incredible. So we're all about community now, and I don't know if y'all saw or not, but we have been going to this other community. They're not communities. There's this community of homesteads. They got land here. They got land here. They got land here, and all these homesteads are working together to get their stuff done. Like, we're building a greenhouse. I'm installing solar for them. You know, I'm installing the solar systems. They helped me put on this plastic for this greenhouse. I couldn't have done it by myself. I couldn't have put this plastic on by myself. It just was not physically possible for me and Krista to be able to do this. I mean, just lifting it up was, you know, was a feat, you know, and then spreading it out. I needed 3 people to go across there, and y'all can see that in the video. But I want to invite everybody. I'm going to do a video on it, but go to Sand Mountain Homestead Community. It's their new YouTube channel, and we're going to post all the videos where we're helping each other. Dr. Pat and Nurse Shelley's going to be there, and they're going to, all these medicinal things about not having to go to the doctor if you can't go to the doctor, you know. So they're going to be, you know, sharing all this information, you know, from that, and I'm going to be sharing all the solar that I do for them. I'm going to be making videos. They're going to be making videos of the greenhouses, the animal husbandry. I know my buddy Skip, he's got goats, and they're all about the pop. You know, they all got twins and triplets in them, and we're actually going to trade a male turkey for my female turkey, which is awesome. So we'll finally get babies from our turkeys, and that's awesome. It's all about community and working together. The Homestead Network is good for internet-wise, but you also need that physical-wise where people are close together. I know Tommy and Off-Grid Nation said that, you know, if you're close to somebody, connect with them, get together, help each other, work together. You know, like-minded people. There's nothing that can stop us as a community. So that's pretty much all I have about this miracle plant, duckweed. It's incredible. It's awesome. I'm working with it. I'm trying all kinds of new stuff. That's you know, making in soil, feed, water purifier, mosquito prevention. But the list just goes on and on. It's this incredible plant, and it goes on and on. And I was thinking of 20 different other uses for it, but we'll save that for another day and another video. But y'all come check out our channel. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, because it really does help, and it shows that we're doing a decent job, you know, trying to provide content for y'all. And y'all go to the Homestead Network and check out all the channels on there. There's been some new ones coming on there, and hit the subscribe button to all those channels. You know, it's all part of community. You know, even if you got that uncle that you're kind of like, that uncle, he's going to be here, you know, but it's okay. Subscribe to him. He's trying too. We're all trying. We're all in this together. So let's stick together, and let's all be community. All right, guys. Ani, Ove, Ota means I love you in Hebrew. Later, guys.